Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Could the Warriors re-sign Kevin Durant? Whether he asks for a trade or the Phoenix Suns want to rebuild the team, the Warriors are one of the favorites to land the champion star. It would be great to see Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant back together and chasing another championship. Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr recently confirmed that the Dubs attempted to reunite with a title-craving star forward before the February 6 trade deadline. With the 2014 MVP stating he had no interest in returning to the Bay, the Warriors elected to acquire former Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler in a blockbuster deal in early February. However, relevant news from an NBA insider could dictate how Golden State approaches free agency. Kevin Durant, I'm like 98% sure he's not gonna be a Phoenix Sun next year. How it works out though I'm about 1% sure, ESPN's Brian Windhorst said last Wednesday. There's gonna be a number of teams interested, but some of it is gonna depend on whether they see KD as a player they keep on a one-year contract or if they want to give him a contract extension. Based on Windhorst's report, Sports Illustrated's Liam Willerup believes a Warriors and Durant reunion could materialize this summer. Despite that Durant will be 37 years old by the start of next season, he's still playing at an elite level as one of the NBA's top scorers, Willerup wrote on May 28. However, if Golden State wants to make a deal for him, it could cause a significant shakeup on the roster. But, if the Warriors see him as the final piece they need, they could pull the trigger to try and get Stephen Curry that fifth ring. From a playoff success standpoint, Durant spent the most productive years of his career with the Warriors. Fans criticized the former Oklahoma City Thunder phenom for signing with Golden State in 2016. Still, the outside chatter had little to no effect on Durant, as the 15-time All-Star ended 2 of his 3 campaigns with the Dubs hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Unfortunately, the lanky 6'11" isolation specialist hasn't won another championship since leaving the Warriors in 2019. That said, playing another season alongside the #1 shooter of all time, Curry, and a versatile, future Hall of Fame forward in Draymond Green could help Durant secure his 3rd championship. Kerr and the Warriors will likely make another attempt to land Durant this summer. Warriors very likely to make head-scratching decision on Jonathan Kuminga. The Golden State Warriors enter the 2025 offseason with a clear need to improve their roster. Steve Kerr's team has solid depth, but lacks a legitimate big man and some additional ball handling off the bench. However, before Mike Dunleavy Jr. can begin upgrading the current rotation, he must deal with Jonathan Kuminga's impending free agency. Interestingly, recent reporting has hinted at Kuminga's potential exit from the Bay Area. After all, he struggled to earn a sustainable spot in the rotation and has been overlooked in big games. Yet, according to Warriors insider Monty Poole, the franchise is now very likely to keep the former lottery pick beyond this summer. The scuttlebutt around the NBA is that the Warriors will very likely find a way to hang on to JK, Poole said. It doesn't mean he's going to be a long-term answer. They can just move him later. Keeping Kuminga would be a head-scratcher for the Warriors. Steve Kerr recently admitted that he struggled to find a role for the explosive forward in his rotation. I've been asked to win, Kerr said in a recent episode of the TK Show podcast. Right now, he's not a guy who I can say that I'm going to play 38 minutes with the roster that we have. Doesn't mean he's not a really good player. Doesn't mean he's not talented. It just means the fit. And with the roster that we have, it's tricky. If Kuminga doesn't have a defined role with the Warriors next season, keeping him around is borderline malpractice. Golden State needs upgrades at other spots on the floor. Just as importantly, Kuminga needs minutes to develop his game. The Warriors risk a player's future over their inability to pick a lane. Other young stars will take note of Kuminga's plight, which could hurt the franchise when looking for cost-controlled undrafted talent in future years. The Warriors should listen if other teams around the league produce viable sign-and-trade offers for Kuminga. The goal is to win a championship. Spending money on a player Kerr doesn't fully trust is nonsensical, especially as re-signing Kuminga could limit the team's flexibility in the free agent and trade market this summer. The Warriors need to have a plan and execute it. Right now, it feels like they're still trying to figure out the best path forward. And for a team with dreams of contending next season, that doesn't bode well. Former Warriors star addresses team's biggest offseason need. If the Golden State Warriors want to bring a championship back to the Bay Area in the 2025-26 season, they will need to fix at least one major part of their roster. That is the opinion of one former Warriors star, at the least. A Stephen Curry injury slowed down a promising start to the 2025 NBA playoffs for the Warriors. After knocking off the second-seeded Houston Rockets in the first round, they could not overcome missing their superstar point guard in round 2. The Minnesota Timberwolves made quick and comfortable work of the Warriors, sending them packing in 5 games. So, how does this team get from that result to hoisting the Larry O'Brien next season? Baron Davis believes that gap will be closed by making the necessary upgrades in the frontcourt. The former Warriors star explained as much in an exclusive interview with DJ Siddiqui. Their ceiling is really kind of the move that they make in the offseason to upgrade themselves athletically right in the front court, Davis told Siddiqui. I personally think they need some front-court athleticism to compete in the West with Nikola Jokic, Naz Reid and people like that. The former franchise point guard for the Warriors added, they needed some help, I would definitely say, rebounding. Steve Kerr said it himself. Draymond Green at the 5 the majority of the season kind of wore him out. I saw similar things. If they can get some support, that would really help. The Warriors ranked 11th in the postseason when it comes to rebounds per game, averaging 40.3 a night. That was a noticeable drop-off from the regular season, where they were tied for 5th in the NBA with 45.4. Davis's point is certainly valid. It will be a focal point of the Warriors' offseason to monitor how they address the need. Draymond Green makes strong Kevin Durant, Warriors statement amid offseason. Late on the evening of February 1st into February 2nd, the Mavericks' 5-time All-Star, Luka Doncic, was traded to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis in a 3-team trade facilitated by the Utah Jazz. For many around the league, including Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green, it was one of the most unexpected transactions in NBA history. On Thursday, Green appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live to discuss a variety of topics, including his reaction to the blockbuster midseason trade and the possibility of Golden State bringing back an old friend. According to Green, he was attending the Warriors' annual charity poker tournament when the news broke. We were at the poker tournament, and I had just seen Joe Lacob, our owner, about 10 minutes before, Green recalled. Lacob told him, Draymond, I think we're going to get Kevin Durant, it's right there at the finish line. Green sat down at a table, fully expecting good news on a potential Durant reunion. 15 minutes later, Stephen Curry shouted across the room, Draymond, you see the trade, thinking Steph was talking about Durant, only for the league media to light up minutes later, confirming that Luka was headed to Los Angeles. I couldn't believe it. I thought Shams was hacked, Green admitted on air. Durant spent 3 seasons in a Warriors uniform, 2017 to 2019, and elevated an already powerful Golden State team into a dynastic juggernaut. Durant helped the Warriors win back-to-back NBA titles in 2017 and 2018, earning Finals MVP honors on both occasions. After sustaining a ruptured Achilles tendon in the 2019 NBA Finals, Durant departed Golden State to sign with the Brooklyn Nets in July 2019, ending the Warriors' Hamptons 5 era. Warriors legend Klay Thompson may have pushed Jordan Poole out of Golden State. Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole were teammates in the Bay for 4 seasons. The guard duo won a championship with the Golden State Warriors in 2022, playing their respective roles to perfection to help the Dubs defeat the Boston Celtics in 6 games. However, after a drama-filled 2022-23 campaign, the Warriors traded Poole to the Washington Wizards. During a recent episode of The Tom Tolbert Show, the San Francisco Standard's Tim Kawakami explained that Thompson may have played a significant role in Poole's departure. They had to move off of Jordan for 2 reasons, well, Draymond, Green, and Klay, Kawakami said during a recent episode of The Tom Tolbert Show. I've heard this more and more that Klay was not comfortable with this guy pushing him. And Klay thought, I've earned this starting role. Why does this guy keep saying he should be the starter? And not publicly, maybe so much as just in the way he carried himself. And that's fine for a young player, but they couldn't keep that guy that got punched by Draymond, not his fault, and who was making things tense with Klay. Assuming Kawakami's report holds merit, Thompson's feelings toward Poole were warranted. The Michigan product's ego appeared to skyrocket after his exceptional 2022 postseason. He averaged 17.0 points per game on 50.8% field goal shooting and 39.1% three-point shooting, which wouldn't sit well with any established NBA star. Green's viral punch to Poole's jaw also didn't help Poole's case to remain with the Warriors, but the 6'4" guard's arrogant demeanor was likely the nail in the coffin. Thompson was the next high-level contributor to leave Golden State, as the four-time NBA champion's late-season shooting struggles caused the Warriors to trade him to the Dallas Mavericks last offseason. Although it's disappointing that the Dubs couldn't keep their championship-winning roster intact, it just goes to show that organizations must make challenging decisions, regardless of whether they're coming off successful campaigns. Thompson and Poole will attempt to keep their careers afloat while navigating life with different NBA franchises. Warriors can repeat history with ideal trade target if NBA Finals are any indication. This could be a buy low option for Golden State. Having gone deep into his rotation throughout this season, Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr would have been pleased with counterparts Mark Daigneault and Rick Carlisle during Game 1 of the NBA Finals at Paycom Center on Thursday. The Pacers went 10 deep in their rotation, while the Thunder used 11 players in what resulted as a shock 111-110 victory for the visitors thanks to another crazy game winner from All-Star guard Tyrese Haliburton. But while it will hardly draw headlines from what was a pulsating Game 1, there was a notable rotation absentee for the Thunder that rival teams like the Warriors should take note of heading into the offseason. Jalen Williams should become a trade target for the Warriors. Kenrich Williams and A.J. Mitchell both saw surprise minutes for the Thunder in the first half, but there was no room for Jalen Williams after Daigneault changed his starting lineup, which saw usual starting center Isaiah Hartenstein come off the bench. It's Williams' third DNP during these playoffs, having averaged 16.7 minutes throughout the regular season. With the amount of young talent OKC possesses, it's inevitable that some will have to move on, and that may start with the 6'9" big man. Williams is clearly more capable than a DNP in the finals would suggest, having shown real production when he sees significant playing time. With Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren in place though, the 22-year-old is relegated to being a third-string big who may need a new team in order to thrive. The Warriors have already shown a propensity to take an underutilized young player off the Thunder's hands after trading for Lindy Waters III last offseason, and now they can repeat history but with a more upside swing in the form of Williams. In 12 games this season where he played between 20 to 29 minutes, Williams averaged 9.8 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.1 assists while shooting 47.1% from three-point range. Additionally, in 3 games where he played 30 minutes or more, he averaged 13.7 points, 12.7 rebounds, and 8.3 assists while drilling 43.8% of his three-pointers. Williams may not bring the size or defensive presence the Warriors need as they explore a new starting center, but his offensive skill set is intriguing given his passing and ability to step out and make defenses pay from beyond the arc. Golden State may have their eyes set on a more proven big man option, yet Williams may actually be the perfect young player to take a risk on. He has a $2.2 million player option for next season, while it's difficult to see OKC asking for too much in a trade given his role behind Holmgren and Hartenstein.